Hey guys, we are back with some more New York Islanders franchise mode, and in this one, we are going to get to the year 4 offseason, I believe it is, as we have been eliminated by the New Jersey Devils in Game 7 overtime. So, very close series, but nonetheless, the New Jersey Devils were the slightly better team. So, we're going to get to the offseason here. And there's a few changes that we do need to make. We're going to be cutting guys like Williams, probably Marleau if they don't retire. And then I wasn't impressed with Cody Eakin in terms of his takeaways to giveaways. I think he had like 60 giveaways during the regular season to only 48 takeaways. So as we take a look at the draft class here, I'm not exactly sure where we're going to be picking. So we'll just, we will leave that for later, probably somewhere in the early 20s. And another guy who we could potentially replace is Marco Scandella, as I want Dobson and Muzzin to be on the top 6 next year, and Durrett needs an offensive defenseman to play with him. Now, I'm not sure who that's going to be, because we do have the huge contract of Matthew Barzal coming up this year, starting July 1st. So before we make any trades or any big signings, I want to see how much salary cap we have remaining on July 1st, because it's not going to be pretty. Or at least I don't think so, because, that's a significant increase. And then we always have to re-sign guys like, I think Wallstrom we have to re-sign. And he's probably going to want a pretty significant raise. And then, it's just not going to be pretty in the future if we go after anyone big here this year in free agency. So we'll see how much we have left again, but I'm not expecting too much. Though it is important to note that the contracts of Williams and Eakin are at $5 million each. So that is pretty, that makes our salary situation a little bit inflated. It makes it look like we have less than we actually do. So Joe Thornton retired, Jeff Carter retired, Paul Stastny, Alex Steen, David Krejci, Dustin Brown, Thomas Plekanec, Andrew Ladd, Shea Weber, Travis Zajac, Franz Nielsen, Brandon Dubinsky, Brent Seabrook, Nicholas Cronwall, Matt Molson, Blake Como, Joel Ward, Devin Setaguchi, Dan Girardi, David Booth, Johnny Boychuk. Okay, let's check goaltenders. Ryan Miller has retired. Kari Lettinen has retired. Al Montoya. And that is it, basically, for goaltenders. So, let's get on to the awards. I didn't even know. I wasn't paying attention to who won the Stanley Cup. The St. Louis Blues have won the Stanley Cup. As I said, wasn't paying too much attention there to everything as I was talking. I was kind of looking away from the screen, actually. So we'll check the playoff tree here. So St. Louis won against New Jersey in the final. So at least New Jersey made it to the Stanley Cup final. So we could say that if we had beat New Jersey, we may have gotten ourselves to the Stanley Cup final. Ultimately, might have lost to the St. Louis Blues, but doesn't matter. So St. Louis wins over New Jersey in 6 games. New Jersey wins over Buffalo in 5. St. Louis wins over Anaheim in 7. So St. Louis had a little bit of a rough path to the Stanley Cup final there. They went to a game 6, 7, 7, and 6 in that order. So, yeah, that was pretty rough for them. New Jersey, other than our series, really didn't have too much of a problem until the Stanley Cup final. They had 5 games against the Pittsburgh Penguins, 7 against us, but then 5 again against the Buffalo Sabres. But then they got beaten 6 games to the St. Louis Blues. Awards, I actually remembered. The St. Louis Blues obviously won the Stanley Cup. President's Trophy, they also won the President's Trophy. That's very interesting. And obviously the Campbell Bowl goes to St. Louis, and obviously the Prince of Wales goes to New Jersey. Blair Awards, Philip Zadina wins the Art Ross Trophy. Hart Memorial goes to Mark Scheifele. James Norris goes to Victor Hedman. Lady Byng goes to Philip Zadina. Calder goes to T. McLennan of the San Jose Sharks. Conn Smythe goes to Vladimir Tarasenko. Vesna goes to Tuukka Rask. Jennings goes to Jake Allen. Masterton goes to Johan Larsson. Frank J. Selke goes to Connor McDavid. Ted Lindsay Award goes to Mark Scheifele. Maurice Richard goes to Tyler Seguin. So that'll be it for the awards and all the postseason wrap up. Let's get into the draft, but not before we check out the draft class. Got to make sure we do our due diligence before we get into it. So Dollywall's going first overall, clearly. Though we do not have the first overall pick. Let's actually check where we are picking with the draft board. And we are picking 27th, actually. So we have, it's suggesting Nikolai Nikolishin, Carson Burgundy, and Leo Knutson for our pick in round number 1. Let's see our depth charts. We apparently have a weakness for forward prospects, and a strength for defense, and a strength for goaltending. So the draft board is saying we should draft forwards, but you know, we can. I think we're deep enough at each position now where we can really just draft the best player available. So, who's in the late 20s here? We have Backus, we have Bolig, we have Semenov, we have Knutson, Nikolishin. So Nikolishin was on the draft board, so we might want to consider taking him. 4 goals, 5 points in 46 games in Russia. Average ice time of 11:20. Yeah, fourth liner there in Russia. Burgundy, we're not too sure on him, just because of his 2-bar potential there. But he was recommended on the draft board, so I guess we'll have to take a look at him. So these 3 right here were the guys on the draft board. But if Backus is available, Backus isn't too bad. What about Bolig? Yeah, he's not too bad either. Pin him. Kuleshov, another Kuleshov here. Just like the Kuleshov from the Wolfsburg series, although he is not Russian. McNeely, Hobson. I wouldn't imagine any of these guys would be available, but we will sort by potential here. So Tarasov, we don't really have a full reading on him. A+ playing in Russia, only played 3 games, 873 save percentage. I mean, if there's no one else better, then I guess we'll take him with maybe our 2nd round pick. But I don't know. I think there will probably be somebody else better who we can take. Dietz, he should be going in like the 5th. I'm gonna say 5th round. So if we could pick him up, that would be great. Jeffrey Dietz, the Italian. Nikolishin, Dika, Steos. He's going pretty late, but it doesn't look like he's too good. He's going to be a project for sure. Let's see. Low elite. Hines, Doug Hines, Peterson, Sergeyev. High top 6 is Gustavo Vickers. Well, we're not picking that high. He's going 4th overall, apparently. Paul Ranford. Yeah, he definitely moved up there in the ranks. A+, A, A-. I think he was at like, what was he at before? I can't exactly remember, but I seem to remember him going somewhere in the 20s, but it doesn't really matter now. He's definitely going pretty high up there. He's a good player right there. He reminds me of Mike Commodore because he's going around the same spot where we took Commodore, and he looks like he's already NHL ready. So whatever team gets him will be, I'm sure, thrilled. So Elijah Burrow, 6'5", playing in the WHL. Offensive instincts, puck protection, and playmaking ability. Not too shabby. We will pin him. Grant Rasmussen. Looks like he's a little bit ways away from the NHL, but, you know, still a medium top 6. We'll pin him as well. Colton Brody. He's a sniper. That's his only strength, it appears. Weaknesses of agility, foot speed, lacks size. Similar style to Zach Parise. Again, medium top 6, so we'll pin him. Christian Janssen. Strengths are offensive instincts, offensive creativity, and playmaking ability. Weaknesses are skating, agility, and foot speed. He has a good shot. Not good skater, obviously, as said in his weaknesses category. He plays in the SHL, though, so he's playing in a men's league. So we will pin him as well. Mateo Carson. Yeah, wouldn't be my first choice for sure. Alan Rabbit. Again, I don't think he would be my first choice. It looks like he has some good strengths there, offensive instincts, playmaking ability, puck protection, but he's a little bit of a ways away from the NHL. Karel Sekach. Yeah, he's a long ways away. Got those E's and D's there. Character, work ethic, and compete level are his strengths. Skating, face-offs, and agility are his weaknesses. And as a center, I don't like to see that face-offs as a weakness. Ruben Saad. We don't have a whole report on him. Isaiah Franzen. Like Evgeny Kuznetsov. Maybe. But we don't have an exact reading on him. Once again. Ronnie Owen. Yeah, I mean, there's better guys that we can take at this point. Makinen. Just going to see if there's any guys with, some A's in there, some hidden gems. Sjostrom. Ooh, Sjostrom. Well, he's going 7th. Yeah, that makes sense. Semenov. We already saw him, but we'll pin him anyway. Duke Lynn. I mean, he's got that medium top 4, but I don't know if he'd be my first choice for the second round. He probably won't even be there for our second round pick anyway. Kai Pilstrom. He's going to be a project for sure. Yeah, look at that defensive and skating category. Yeah, that's going to be... He's a ways away. And we already have all the gems pinned. So that will do it for the draft class. And I believe we can get to the draft here. Let's just check out the progress reports really quick. Just to see how much our young guys, mainly in the AHL, grew. Because we did, obviously, Durant grew significantly. So he'll be likely getting top 4 ice time next year. Which is why I do want to get an offensive defenseman to play with him. But as to who that's going to be, I'm not sure. As again, we have to see how much cap space we have available with the contract of Matt Barzal taking into effect. And it's going to probably damage the checkbooks quite a bit. So Tim Cizek, I definitely would expect him to get the call-up for next year. Sean Greiba up to a 74, so he's grown well. John Toiber up to a 73. Looks like they had some good growth down there in the AHL. Jani Pekarainen up to a 70, so that's good for him. Jace Oda, another elite goaltender, 67 overall. So again, the majority of our focus here in terms of goaltending in the AHL is being put onto Jason Hutchinson, who didn't do too bad last year, but he did have that injury late in the season, which probably prevented him from playing more games than he wanted to play. But he did have a pretty decent save percentage at .914, so we'll see how he grows for next year. I would like if he could be the backup next year, but if he's not ready, then I'm perfectly fine with playing Kincaid. So that'll about do it for that. Let's start the NHL entry drafts for year number 4, going into year number 5. And I don't think there's any trades I want to make, because the majority of the players that I don't want are players that we can release at free agency, or, in the re-sign stage, rather. So let's just go ahead to our pick. Let's see who's available. Bolig, Knutson, Nicolishin, Burgundy. So Bolig being available, Knutson is also interesting, given that our scouts have him ranked at 21. Let's see, what's his strengths again? Leadership ability, balance, and strength. Don Bolig is a forward. Do we really need more forwards, though? I would rather, honestly, I think, take the left defenseman out of this. I mean, unless Nicolishin is a medium elite, I don't know. That's not exact, though. He could be like a low or medium top 6. So I think I'll take the guaranteed medium top 4 with Leo Knutson, because we kind of do have a little bit of a weakness in terms of prospect left defenseman. So I will take Leo Knutson with our first overall, or our first round pick. Not first overall. I've been too used to the past 2 years where we've gotten the first overall pick. So here we go. Second round now. Let's see who's available. So Tarasov's still available, but is he really the best option at this point? Let's see, Tuominen. He's going to be a project. And again, we don't really need too many more forward prospects. I don't feel like Doug Hines, unless they're like, maybe like Doug Hines, goal scoring, pro release, puck protection. He looks like he could be in the low I wouldn't say, yeah, I wouldn't say low 70s, maybe more like mid 60s, high 60s. But he looks like he could be pretty solid. But then again, he's not slated to go till the 7th round. He's ranked, or I mean, he might even be undrafted. You know, he's got that 249 central scouting rank, so we might be able to go after him really late. But then again, you know, Dietz is going very late too. So we could just take a chance on Tarasov here. But then again, do we really need another goaltender? This is what I'm saying. We have the majority of the positions covered here in terms of prospects. Or quality prospects anyway, so you may as well just draft for value at this point. Which Dietz, again, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get him with the 4th round pick, I'd say. So you may as well just take Tarasov, see what he turns out to be. So that's what we'll do. Ruslan Tarasov, welcome to the New York Islanders. And again, we won't know his potential until we actually play him. So, or, you know, see him play at the AHL level even. So we'll just have to move along from that and hope that he's good. So let's see. Round 3 now. 89th overall. Dietz is still there. That's good to know. And Tuominen is there as well. Now, is that other low elite guy still there? Yeah, Hines is still there. Okay. So I think for this pick, I'll take Dietz. And then with the next pick, I'll take Tuominen. Or someone with similar potential. Because, or, oh, you know what? Christian Janssen. Right, this guy. He wasn't a great skater, but he does have that shot. Could be good trade value. He's already 19 years of age, though. 89th overall, so this guy would go relatively soon. So if we're going to take him, we would have to take him now if we want him. He's a plus 11, 14 penalty minutes. What's his advanced stats here? He had 16 shots, 18.8 shooting percentage. Decent increase in ice time from last year. Only had 9 games the previous year. We don't have anything on his giveaways and takeaways, obviously, or hits. But do I want Christian Janssen or do I want to take Dietz now? I mean, obviously Dietz is going to be a project, but he's got that trade value, you know? So I think I'll just take Dietz. Because there's other guys who I think I'd be able to take with the 4th round pick. And then the 5th round and the 6th round. Like, there's a lot of good potential prospects available in this draft that would be able to help us in the same way that, what's his name? Janssen would have been able to, and that would have been just pure trade value. So I think with this one, we'll take Tuominen, who is playing in Liga. And then with the next one, we could take Hines, and then after that, we could take Peterson. Unless we want to take one of these guys as well, Carson. Like, all these guys would do the same in terms of trade value for us. So I think we will take Tuominen because he can, low elites can grow pretty fast. So let's take him. His first name Kimmo, right? Yeah, Kimmo Tuominen. Welcome to the New York Islanders. And our 5th round pick. We could, again, just take one of those medium elites, or we could take a medium top 6, such as Carson. We'll sort by potential here. And there's still Hines, there's still Peterson. And then there's Carson, there's Rabbit, there's Sekach. Now, which pick is this? This is round 5? Okay, so we still have 2 more picks after this. So let me sort of plan things out here. I could take Carson now, and then I could take Hines and Peterson since they're both going so late. So I could take one of these guys right now. For sure. And then both of these guys if I want them. And I do want to take Peterson at least with the 7th round pick, because, you know, he's marked as a gem, so he might grow pretty fast. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, but just the fact that he's a gem, you know, it makes him that much more attractive as a player. So Carson, Rabbit, or SELKE, between these guys, I think I would take, hold on, let's take a look at the grades here. Maybe Rabbit. Yeah, I think I would take Rabbit because he's the most NHL ready out of all of these guys. He's got a few B's in there and nothing lower than a C- for his skating. When you look at guys like Carson and then SELKE, he's got a D, an E even in there. He's a long ways away. Same thing with SELKE. So we're gonna take Allen Rabbit with our 5th round pick. Welcome to the New York Islanders. And then with the 6th round pick, we will take, I believe, Doug Hines. Unless there's someone else, but I don't think so, because I think those other top 6 forwards would have been taken at this point. SELKE is still available, but I think I like Hines a little bit better. Yeah, he's much better than SELKE is. So we will take Doug Hines with our 6th round pick, and then with our 7th round pick, we should be able to take Harry Peterson, I believe his name was. So sort by potential, and let's see. Yeah, Peterson is still there. Let's just make sure down here. Yeah, no one's available down here. And there's literally no one else left of value who we know of anyway, so we will take Harry Peterson with our 7th round pick. There you go. Relatively fast draft compared to usual. Usually I like to, you know, take my time a little bit with it, but I think everything was just kind of laid out for us in this draft. And obviously I took my time with, you know, seeing the grades of everyone, but, you know, I think this one was a little bit more, this draft in particular was a little bit more straightforward than ones in the past. So Knutson, Tarasov, Dietz, Tuominen, Rabbit, Hines, and Peterson, welcome to the New York Islanders. So let's get into the re-sign phase now, as we do have the contract of Matt Barzal coming up. So we do have to be careful with really the contracts that we have here. And unfortunately, Wahlstrom does not want to re-sign. And he's still a UFA. I thought signing him to 1 year would fix that, but apparently not. All right, so apparently once they're a UFA, then they're stuck as a UFA for good. So $5 million for 4 years is what he wants. Would I want to give Wahlstrom $5 million? Yes. He's a consistent 30-goal scorer, and he's been a consistent 60-point getter as well. And he played well defensively last year, +6 on the season. Then a 41 takeaway to 38 giveaway season. That's pretty good for me. He's not a hitter, but, you know, he creates offense for us. He could slot in there on the first line when needed. He could slot in on the second, third line, wherever you need him, basically. Not the 4th line, obviously, but, you know, anywhere in the top 9, really, this guy could play. So I would love to sign him, but I don't know. He doesn't want to sign, so we might have to overextend a little bit for him. Eakin doesn't want to re-sign. I'm just going to release anyone who doesn't want to re-sign, who's not worth overextending for. Williams, get out of here. Cizikas, get out of here. Clutterbuck, thank God your contract's up. Get out of here. Pelech, get out of here. And then Winnick, get out of here. All right, so Scandella doesn't want to re-sign. Marleau doesn't want to re-sign. All right, you know what? Marleau, you've been good for us, my bud. But, you know, we have a little bit more of a youth movement going on here in New York, especially with the huge contract of Matt Barzal coming up. We can't really afford to overpay too many veterans, so you can go find yourself a new team. Wahlstrom, obviously, we have to re-sign. Scandella, I'm not sure about. Johnston, I mean, what did he do at the AHL level? I don't think, yeah, he only played 3 games last year. No, thank you. We'll just release him. So Clapperton, Nuts, and Bjorkstrand. I don't want that AHL top 6. We'll release this guy. Bjorkstrand, 59 overall at 21 years of age. No, thank you. And then Clapperton, Ryder Clapperton. I mean, he's not terrible. Let's see his stats here. 11 points in 45 games, +10, 35 shots. We have nothing on his takeaways or giveaways. I mean, I guess he could play as like a backup player for the AHL, so we'll sign him. RFAs, you have Del Cole, Van de Sompel, and Salo. Now, what did Salo do last year for the AHL? 40 hits, 59 giveaways, 27 takeaways, 19 points, +4. He didn't really do too much physically to justify me keeping him in the roster because he didn't really do too much offensively anyways. I mean, 19 points isn't terrible, but, you know, you can get someone better for the AHL for sure. And he's not that physical either, so I think we can release Robin Salo here. Now, Van de Sample and Dal Cole. Van de Sample, I know, yeah, Van de Sample did very well for the AHL. He had more takeaways than giveaways as a defenseman, and he looks to be pretty solid offensively down there, so we will re-sign Van de Sample, assuming he wants a two-way contract. No, he does not. All right, we're going to have to tender a qualifying offer to him, and then we'll put him in a deal with maybe someone else, or maybe even just send him to a team for like a 4th round or maybe a 3rd round pick if we can, because we just can't afford that one-way deal. As much as Van de Sample's valuable for the AHL, we're focused on the NHL here. So Dal Cole, I would imagine he wants a one-way, yeah. So Dal Cole and Van de Sample, we will just tender a qualifying offer to, and we will trade them both on July 1st. Now, skaters for unsigned rookies, you have Lynn, who's 60 overall, 40 goals last year at the U.S. League, 98 points. That is a significant improvement over the previous year. 305 shots, 40 power play points, so he looks to be very good. You know what? I think we might sign Esteban Lynn here, even if it's just for the AHL. Like 60 overall, he, with that kind of season in the U.S. League, he could very well jump a significant amount over the offseason. So Leonard Reardon, 59 overall. What kind of season did he have with the U.S.? 40 points, not terrible, but we have a lot of right-handed defensemen in our system right now, so we'll leave him unsigned for right now. O'Byrne, Ali O'Byrne, in the WHL last year, he produced 40 points, not too much of an improvement, plus 14, 215 shots. He had more shots. 4 power play points. Again, we have just so much depth at forward. I would rather just let him play at the WHL for another year. Matthias Enroth, 64 overall defenseman. What did he do in the SHL? 11 points, plus 7, 1 game winner. I'll let him stay in the SHL for 1 more year. He's only 18, so you got to think he'll, he'll have some decent growth there. Now, Jeffrey Dietz, medium elite. He played in the National League last year. 2 points, plus 11. I'll leave him in the National League for right now. There's no point in signing him right now. We have way too many forwards, as I've said. I don't think he would get the chance. Maybe not even at the AHL level. I mean, he might. I'm not ruling that out completely right now, but I would rather wait on him till the preseason to see if we need him rather than sign him before any free agents. So all these guys I think we'll wait on. Goaltenders, let's see. So you got Tarasov, Oda, and Pirjeta. I'll wait on Tarasov. Again, same thing with Pirjeta and Oda. Unless we need them for the minors, which might actually happen. So in terms of UFAs, Kincaid does want to re-sign. Okay, I'll wait on him for right now just because, I want to see what else we have to sign. Soderstrom, if he wants a 2-way deal, I'll sign him. No, he wants a one. No. Nope, not doing that. Not doing that at all. So in terms of RFAs for goaltenders, there are none left. So I guess we'll sign Pirjeta here because we had to release Soderstrom. How many goaltenders do we have? So we have Gibson, Kincaid, who we intend to re-sign, Hutchinson, and Schmidt, actually. So you know what? I'll just let Pirjeta and Oda play separately since they both have the medium elite potential. We'll leave them unsigned for 1 more year. All right, so Wahlstrom. Definitely important to re-sign. How much cap space do we have? 24.6. I can afford to extend on this guy. I would say 6 mil is good for Wahlstrom, honestly, because he gets 60 points. 6 mil, it makes sense. But what does he want if I give him 5 years? Yeah, no, I'll give him 4 for 6 mil. There you go. Scandella, what does he want? 3.4. I'm not going to overextend on him right now. If I want to go after him again in free agency, I will. But I would rather have that offensive defenseman to play with Pascal Durette, who will be on the top 4 this year, so we'll release him. And that should be it, actually, in terms of UFAs. So really all we have left to do is qualify Dalcol and Van de Sempel. And we are not going to do that until... oh yeah, Kincaid. I think we have enough to re-sign him, and he wants a decent deal, especially for what he did for us last year with that 22-game season. He pulled out 14 wins for us. That's a solid 28 points in the bank just from having Kincaid in net. So he did and again, a .930 save percentage. I think he's worth that 1.75. So he gets that contract, and well-deserved. So anyway, as I was saying, all we have to do after this, I believe, is tender a qualifying offer to Dalcol and Van de Sempel, and actually Kincaid, I believe, rejected. So we'll give him another offer here. Not sure why I would have, but we'll try again, as he is fairly valuable to this team. So, you know what? Yeah, we'll give him what he wants. 1.85. He's worth it. I would even go up to 2 mil for Kincaid, honestly, with how well he plays as a backup. Rejected, so I feel like I could impact an NHL roster more if I was given a chance to play. So he wants to re-sign with us, but he's being picky about his minutes, basically, is what he's saying. So again, I would give him up to... How much is Gibson making, actually? 6.4. I would give him up to like 2.1, potentially. Just because of how well he plays as a backup. I'll give him 2 mil for right now. And we will advance one more day here. Hopefully we can get him for that. Accepted. Okay, good. Really wanted Kincaid back as our backup, and we got him. So last day of the re-sign stage, and we will tender a qualifying offer to Dalcol and Van de Sempel, and then we will trade them on July 1st because we can't afford them. So RFAs, qualify RFA, and qualify RFA. There you go. All right, so let's just do a once-over and just make sure that no one else is remaining. That appears to be good. And, yeah, Dalcol and Van de Sempel are the only ones left, so let us advance to free agency. And, actually, before we advance any further, gotta remember to do this here. Scouts. Contract years. Let's see, so all these people here with no years. And that's fine, I'll release Carlton. I prefer to hold on to Walsh, Peterstrom, and Lowry, though, because they get Bs. Walsh. So this is going to take a while, so I'll actually cut this out here. All right, so I've approached all the scouts, so let's get to day 1 of free agency. Walsh has re-signed, Peterstrom has re-signed, and Lowry has re-signed. Very nice. Those are the 3 guys who I wanted back, and Cody Traynor, Raphael Carlton, and Merrick Dano have not been renewed, so we'll need to get some more scouts, but I will do that off screen. So sign free agents. Let's see what we're working with here. Johnny Gaudreau, Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes is available as a UFA. Are you kidding me? Jack Hughes, a UFA at 21 years of age. Oh yeah, right, because he was created. So man, I feel sorry for whoever got Jack Hughes and now had to release him because he wanted too much money and was a UFA. Oh man, that stinks for whoever had Jack Hughes. So Gaudreau, Hughes, Seth Jones is available as well. Ooh, just Seth Jones. That might be juicy to go along with Brady Shea there, but he is costing quite a bit of money, 10 mil. Cap space, we have 18.5, but again, we have to renew guys eventually, such as Bennett Strite, Andreas Mueller, Mike Commodore, Pascal Durette, we have to renew as well, I believe in 2 years. So I don't want to hinder this team with long-term contracts like that. So Kessel, Forsberg, Malkin, Raquel, Riley. Okay, so, Riley. Morgan Riley. He might be that offensive defenseman who we want to play with Pascal Durette. He's playing on defensive pair 1 for the Maple Leafs, it looks like. He only wants 7.75, so that's like, that might be a good deal. Just because, I mean, Jones wants 10.1, but then you get Riley at 7.75 to play alongside a Durant. Might have to consider that. I mean, I know I've been saying that, you know, we don't want to really constrain ourselves with too many long-term, huge contracts here, but this might be a steal here. If we could get him for like 8 mil, yeah, that would be good. That would be nice. So a lot of big name free agents here in this free agency. Klingberg, Zibanejad, Couturier, Teravainen, Ryan Murray, Tomas Hertl, Shea Theodore, Will Butcher. This is actually a star-studded free agency right here, boys. Star-studded free agency. If I've ever seen one. But Morgan Riley, I'm really liking the thought of that. Unless, you know what, is Duret's a righty, right? Let me just make sure. Let's see. Defenseman. Duret. Yes, he is a righty. So, I'm really liking the thought of of Morgan Riley, especially once we get Muzzin's contract off the team next year. Because I do want Muzzin to play this year. But we won't have Muzzin next year for sure. Because we'll have guys like maybe Bodie Wild stepping in. Or maybe Noah Dobson to step into a bigger role. Because he's probably, unfortunately, going to be on the top 6 this year with Durant moving into the top 4. Now, let's see. Is there any other contracts that we would be able to unload if we had to in order to get Morgan Riley? Lee, no. Wallstrom, no. See, all these guys I want. Like, everyone who's on the roster right now, I want to keep. Barzal, Mueller, Hosang, Lee, Streit, Wallstrom, Beauvillier, Ragnarsson, Commodore, Dzingel, Cizek. Not getting rid of any of these guys. Are there any big contracts in the AHL by chance? I don't think so. I think Clutterbuck's contract was the last one of those. So, yeah, no, there's not. So, I don't know. I still think that Riley would be a good signing for this team defensively in order to let Durant play his game. I think Morgan Riley would be a very good defensive partner for him. So then we could go Shea and Pulock, Riley and Durant, Muzzin and Dobson. That sounds good. That sounds really good. But again, you have to take into the consideration the contracts of Dobson as well. You have to take into the consideration the contracts of Dobson, Mueller, Streit in a couple of years, Ragnarsson in a couple of years, Commodore coming up this year as well, and then Cizek and Ottoson at some point. So I don't know. I do want Riley for sure, but would it be a smart idea to go after Riley? That's the thing. We could unload Kincaid if we had to next year, because I don't think we'll run into cap problems this year. I think our main problems are going to be once we re-sign guys like Mueller and Dobson. So that'll be 1 year from now. So we can... There are a couple of contracts that we can unload, such as Kincaid. And I guess if we have to, we can unload Beauvillier or Lee, because he's getting kind of old. I mean, he's not that old, he's 31, but he's still got a few years left in him. But, he's still a contract that we could potentially unload if we had to. So, would you guys say Morgan Riley's a good idea? Let me know in the comments. And I think that'll just about wrap this one up. So, Riley, yes or no? Let me know. And I will see you guys in the next one.